Humans of the Cardboard, finishing up our Phantom Nightmare reveals. These did technically come out last night, but they came out like super late. I had already fallen asleep by the time these had gotten revealed, apparently. So we're doing them early this morning. I think it's 7 monsters and 2 spells. I think it's 6 main deck monsters, a synchro, and 2 spells. I've not read them. I just scanned over them to see what we got here. So let's jump into this. We got a lot to go through, and it's filler mostly, so we can kind of skim and look for any hidden gems. But let's get started here with the monsters. Starting off, we got this weird looking thing. Almost looks like a Herald card but he is Time Rewinder. He's a machine effect light monster, level 8, 1214 or 2400 for the stats. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. First effect: if a monster or monsters on the field is flipped face up during the main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand, then change one face up monster on the field to face down defense position. Okay. If this card is flipped face up during the main phase, you can target a monster in your graveyard, special summon in defense position, then change one monster on the field to face down position. Actually, not too shabby, to be honest. Like, as a generic, like, flip support card, there's worse cards I can imagine using this. I mean, I already think of, like, if you have a deck that can, like, flip on the opponent's turn, right, and you flip up like something like Guru, like you flip a Guru up with your final battle to search on your opponent's turn. You can also chain this card to summon and then flip either the Guru back face down, or it just be a Book of Moon at that point, because you can change any monster on the field face down. So it's interruption or keeping your engine like flipping, or even flip himself, because if he gets flipped, you can target a monster in your own graveyard, special summon it in defense. Which is cool, gives you value back. I mean, there's definitely some value here on this card for sure. This is a card where, like, it's cheeky. It's flip support. Flip support is not good, but for flip support, it's actually kind of interesting. So, interesting card. All right, next up we have this guy who has really insane artwork. Look at this guy. Holy shnikes. This is a level 6 Dark Fiend. This is Berserk Archfiend, actually an Archfiend monster, so this does have a little bit of synergy and searchability from that stuff. You can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. You can only target up to 2 face-up monsters you control, including a fiend. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy those monsters. Interesting that it gives you the choice of up to 2. Like, why would you destroy 2 ever? But like destroy 1, okay. I mean, we're already playing Unchained right now at a pretty decent clip, so this is a level 6 extender, so it helps you make the guy, the DDD guy, Caesar. But I don't know, interesting little extender there. Second effect: when a monster or monsters is destroyed by this card's first effect, you can target an equal number of face-up monsters your opponent controls. This card gains attack equal to those monsters' total original attack until the end of your next turn. So he becomes huge. He's basically a little extender. It's nothing too crazy, but I don't know. There's worse cards out there. Plus his artwork is crazy, and he's an Archfiend, so maybe there's some ability where this guy makes like Archfiends as a package like a little more interesting. Because like, is it Archfiend Eris? If she's just sent to grave by card effect, she can like search an Archfiend card. So he is technically searchable via like Tour Guide into Rhino into Eris, but then you're playing a bunch of extra cards you probably don't want to. So a little bit weird, but still works. Interesting there. Moving on, we move on to a Stranger Big Bang. I like this guy's design, but with all these stars, I've learned this probably has something to do with level modulation. He's a light warrior effect monster, level 5, 2100 attack, 500 defense, 3 hard ones per turn effects. If a monster special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, like the Ecclesia kind of extending effect. Not bad. That's actually a decent extending effect. During your main phase, you can reduce the levels of as many other face-up monsters currently on the field as possible by 1, and if you do, increase this card's by the number of monsters whose level was reduced this way. Okay, gotcha. So decrease everything else on the field that has a level by 1, and then give all those levels to this guy. Interesting. And the third effect: during your battle phase or your opponent's main phase, if this card is level 8 or higher, quick effect, you can destroy one other card on the field, and if you do, this card's level becomes 5. Okay, so he kind of like I mean, this honestly isn't the worst card. It's generic. I'm just not sure it does enough. Like if it's generic and unsearchable, it's got to do a little more than this. I would guess, but honestly, like jumps on the field decently easily. Is that if there are 3 monsters with levels on the field, okay, this card is going to go up to 8, and then he's going to be a Dryden. He's going to be a walking, non-targeting Dryden during your opponent's main phase, which is not as bad as some other things. So, interesting card. Probably not good enough overall, but definitely interesting. Next up, we move to this guy. What the hell is this? I cannot tell what this is. Okay. This is Duyu Shatsubo. Okay. He's a zombie tuner, effect monster, dark, level 3. 500 attack, 0 defense. Zombie support, sort of. You can use the second and third effect of this card once per turn. Face down defense position monsters in this card's column cannot change their battle position. Neither player can activate set cards in this card's column, spell, and trap zone. Okay, so he's kind of like a lockdown card. That's kind of funny. I mean, this says change battle position, but that means like a face down defense monster cannot go to attack position. It's stuck. And then obviously like locking down spells and traps as well. I mean, there's worse cards, I guess. During your main phase, you can move this card to an unused adjacent main monster zone. Honestly, this card isn't the worst thing in the world. Like, maybe if there was like a way to like get this out super easily for like zombies or something, this could be like a side deck option for matchups like Labyrinth. Like going second, just starting your turn by throwing this into a column of one of their set cards and putting them in a position where they like have to fire it then, or pretty much accept that that card is, you know, locked down for the time being. It's kind of interesting. Plus he can move his zone. So even if they try to like fire something, but it's not something that immediately contests this card, he can just move himself and then lock a different zone. Maybe not, maybe interesting, but it's got to be better overall because it's just worse than Denko Sekka for most instances like that. So it's got to be something where like zombies can access this card like too easy that it's dumb, and then they can side it maybe. This card moves from a main monster zone to another. Change all other monsters in this card's column to face down defense position. That's kind of cool too. So even going second, being able to like change it over and then flip something kind of threatens more interruption. I think it's a card where like, funny enough, even though I still don't think it's a good... If it had a way to like summon itself really easily, like special summon, then maybe it'd be more interesting. But I will say this card does seem like it at least baits a negate. Even as like weird as this card looks, as like gimmicky as its effects are, it probably baits a negate. So that's something. Then you got this guy. There's no way this card's good, but it's very cute. I'm sure people will love it. This is Principug. Beast effect monster, Earth level 1/0/0. You know, show me some actual good beast support. 2 hard ones returns. You can target a face-up monster you control that cannot be normal summoned or set. With Guardian in its original name, it can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Okay, so double attacking. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Guardian monster in your graveyard that cannot be normal summoned or set. Activate one of these effects. Either add it back to your hand or add a card mentioned on it from your graveyard to your hand. You know, pretty weird that this is just Guardian support. I don't think it's enough. Like, the only thing I think of is Gate Guardian, but I'm not even sure they all have like Guardian in the name. So I think just Gate Guardian and like the actual big Gate Guardians have that in their name. So I don't think this card has too much legitimacy there. I think the last main deck monster is this guy, Danos Stacking. I like his design too. He's cool. He's cute. He is a Beast Earth level 1, 600 for the stats. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, even during the damage step, quick effect, roll a 6-sided die and apply this effect based on this effect's chain link number. Huh? Okay. If this is chain link 2, this card gains attack equal to the result times 500 until the end of this turn. If this is chain link 3... inflict damage to your opponent equal to the result times 500. And if it's 4 or higher, destroy cards on the field up to the result. So I guess it's a high roll card where you have a 50% chance to just like wipe a ton of stuff. You know what? All things considered, this could be worse. I didn't realize this actually had this high ceiling of... Technically, this is when your opponent activates an effect, 50-50 chance to just completely wipe their board. Non-target destroy a bunch of cards on their field. That's kind of cheeky. It's soft once per turn. If it was just not once per turn at all, then this card would actually be kind of nutty. But okay, this card, is not the worst for like drafting. This card could be way worse for sure. All right, and the last card we have here is the Synchro. Big Leviathan looking guy, very creepy. He's a level 7 dragon tuner, or not tuner. He's not a tuner. Dragon Synchro. 15-15. He's completely generic. You can only use his effect once per turn. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can make it gain attack equal to the total levels of non-tuners used as material times 300 until the end of the next turn. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the level of the tuner used as its material times 300. So basically here, I don't think this card is like an amazing card, but I do want to state that I think this card could be a time card for generic Synchro decks that can like pretty easily climb into a 7. Imagine getting time called on you, while you're in main phase. Sometimes the only option some of those decks have is like the Red Dragon Archfiend. Which one is that? The one that like destroys all special summon monster on the field and burns for 500 for each one. But that requires like there to be monsters on the field to destroy. This is just another option. Make this card burn for at least 300. Maybe it's up to 900. And also get big, so it could also run over something too for more damage. I think it's a decent time card, honestly, for Synchros, because I know they haven't had the best options. The Archfiend is not the best option in the world. It's not terrible, but it's not the best option. This guy is probably going to see play in that way, in some way, shape, or form. Okay, next up we have Phantom Nightmare spells. I think it's just 2. Let's see what they got. This one's got Vision Hero. This is one of the ones people don't play. I think these are both the ones people don't play, funny enough. It's a quick play spell. Interesting enough, but it's not an actual hero card. It's called Protean. Quick play spell. You can only use one card of this card's name per turn. Target a face-up monster zone target a face-up monster card in the spell and trap zone to activate one of these effects. Special summon it to its owner's field, return it to the hand, or destroy it. Then you can destroy one monster on the field with an equal or lower level. Interesting. So kind of a quick play utility card for like Snake Eye and Centurion, basically. Kind of nice. I mean, listen, I don't love that this is based on level, because like both of those decks would end up putting like some lower level stuff in their spell and trap zone more often, but it's not a terrible card. And another thing too is this is target any face-up monster in the spell and trap zone to use this. So even if Centurion and Snake Eye decks like really take off, this could be a targeted like anti-side type card where you're able to, remove one of the guys in their spell and trap zone and then pop another monster on their field. This is non-targeting, so if they have a level 1 on field and you like pop a level 1 that a Snake Eye deck put in the spell and trap zone and pop the one on field, that's pretty spicy, to be honest. Returning stuff to the hand isn't that good unless it's like an extra deck monster. And special summoning to the owner's field, that's when it's like your deck that has stuff put in the spell and trap zone. But could come up, if you want to play it in your own deck as well. Interesting card. It may be a little bit too niche, but to me, there's a world where this card is kind of like XYZ Encore, like almost exactly was only played for Pirelli, but cool. This could kind of be a similar thing. We'll see. And the last one here is White Eye Pressure. I cannot tell for the life of me what's going on in this picture, but it's there. Normal spell. You can only use the first and second. You can only use one of the two of the first and second effects per turn, only once that turn. So only one. Also, they can only be activated if the combined number of cards in the monster and face-up monster cards in the spell and trap zones are 10 or more. Holy shnikes. That is so much. Place one monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. I mean, that's a nice effect, specifically for like Centurion and a little bit for Snake Eye too, but I don't know if that's even good enough for needing 10 total cards. I don't know about that. You can banish this card from your graveyard to place one monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. I mean, listen, these are nice ways to like access some of those like cards that want to be in the spell and trap zone, but not good enough, man. Definitely not good enough. I just don't get it. Yeah, it just requires too much. This requirement is too brutal. 10 different monsters either on field or in the spell and trap zone is too much. This card maybe could see some niche play, but that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy here. Honestly, I feel like the card that has the best chance to see play is a burn card for time to help synchro decks when they go to time. Other than that, this guy's kind of a little cheeky. I'm just not sure he's generically good enough. But he is interesting. He's not the worst card. Maybe there's a world where this card makes Archfiends a little bit better. And then this guy's funny flip support. But nothing too crazy, to be honest. Little bit of a letdown. I kind of would have wished for something a little more spicy here. But listen, we're talking filler anyway, so I'm not going to get I never got my hopes too high regardless. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. This finishes Phantom Nightmare completely. So in the next couple days, keep your eyes peeled for a full set review and breakdown, just pretty much analyzing the entire set as a whole and how it kind of compares to some of the best sets we've gotten this year. Age of Overlord is amazing, so we'll see how it stacks up versus that. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching as always. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this down the line. And let me know where you land on these as well as just Phantom Nightmare in general. I'd love to hear, Phantom Nightmare. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But I'm out of here for today. See you in the next one. Peace.